Just blow it out the other end.
That's how I love to do everything, really. Let me know when you're ready. I guess you're starting, so.
Yeah. Hey, Peterson, were you aware that there's a hentai ripoff of our podcast?
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's like a full recreation of us and the other recurring characters on the show, but we're all naked and getting down.
Okay, who made it?
Dude, I don't even know. AI, maybe just some pervert that really loves our show?
Well, is it any good?
I don't know. I just found it. Do you want to read it?
Only if we can read it together.
You've just logged into the 3-Bit Gamer Show. Welcome to the 3-Bit Gamer Show. I'm JD.
This is Peterson.
And there's no hentai, you pervs.
Yeah. I mean, we
you
could
want to see me and Peterson getting down in a comic book format. You are going to have to commission the art yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I have some, but I'm not sharing it.
We paid for that.
I'm not just like giving it away for free.
That was a Christmas present.
That's, dude. If you're just like Merry Christmas, I opened
your
it.
Kids
and be like,
what did JD get you for Christmas? You're like, I don't want to talk about
it. I can't say, I can't show you
for a couple years. I'll show you in about 10 years.
I promise you're gonna hate it.
Live from the 3-Bit Gamer Show. The news. All right, our news this week is brought to us by Crave Cookies. Yeah. Crave!
It sounds so short when you did Crave for like a minute and a half.
Yeah, can you roll that and make it a little bit longer? All right, Crave Cookies sponsors our news segment, and we throw them back a favor by informing you guys of the menu that's coming up. They change their menu every Friday, but we tell you on Tuesday what the new cookies are going to be. So go to cravecookies.com and follow along if you're listening to this podcast 4 days late. Otherwise, we're coming
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Future.
This is the highlight of my week.
Yeah, Peterson doesn't know until I read this list.
learn at the same time you do, really.
I didn't ever really consider that.
Yeah.
All right, so Peanut Butter Cup is our monthly cookie this month, and I'll tell you, I have watched my wife eat not 2, but 3 of these. Just sitting on the couch, she eats the whole effing thing, and I look over and it's gone, and I say, "Where did your cookie go?" And she looks sheepish. It's kind of a joke, but it's pretty much just like every night now.
Want for me to put peanut butter cup in your eggs? You know what that's from? I think I've done it before, but if you guys know what it's from, let me know. Peanut butter cup.
Oh my god. Okay. Also, the Carmelita is back. That is the caramely oatmeal cookie.
Yeah.
The brookie, that's just the basic brookie. Nothing fancy about it. Just the brownie cookie. It's solid. It's got a little bit of powdered sugar on top. The eclair,
that one's good.
Bavarian cream and sandwiched between 2 sugar cookies. Then it's covered in a chocolate ganache and decorated with a cute little buttercream frosting.
Little dollop.
Rose. We colored 2 different batches of buttercream, one red, one green. We use 2 different frosting tips. We make a billion little roses on a parchment sheet. We put them in the freezer overnight, and then we put them gently on your cookie. You guys appreciate the work that goes into that effing cookie because it takes forever. And then finally, the chilled cookies and cream. It's just basically like a super Oreo. It's a chocolate sugar cookie with a bunch of like Oreo frosting on top. Guys, you can't go wrong with literally any of the cookies coming up next week. So go to cravecookies.com, get Crave Cookies, the app, and get your cookie on. Trump's tariffs are rattling the game industry already, and the worst part is now we have to talk about his dumbass on this podcast.
We've been trying to avoid it, really.
honestly for like 8 years now, as little as possible.
Like we've talked about it a little bit, but not a lot.
Like when it comes up, or like you can throw a quick joke, or you play the "Do Not Come" clip because it's fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, here we go. Ready?
Do not come.
Wait, and then the partner.
I'm gonna come.
Like that's where our comfort level of talking about Donald Trump on this podcast was.
Yeah.
And now, unfortunately, we talk about him for like 20 minutes. So if you can't get enough, great. If you've had enough, like you were one of the 15,000 people protesting in Salt Lake this weekend, I get it. Just hit the fast forward button like 40 times. And
40.
We'll get through this. Yeah, it's like 20 minutes worth.
The podcast app I've been using doesn't have a fast forward button, and
you're using a bad podcast app.
Because they got rid of Google Podcast, like
Overcast. It's called Overcast. That's the one you and everyone else should be using.
Okay,
it's the only good one's the one I've been using for the last 6-7 years. Okay, anyway,
I'll look at it.
So tariffs.
All right.
I just want to put this down as a baseline. Okay. So we're all on the same page, because apparently Google searches for what tariffs are have been surging, which is really cool considering one of 2 presidential candidates spent like 2 years promising to enact a bunch. He spent 4 years of his presidency wielding tariffs like it was a weird weapon.
Yeah.
But hey, it's never too late to learn. So I'm going to give a brief primer so we're all on the same page. Tariffs are a tax that is paid by the importing company. So a Japanese company, say, is importing a good, and they have to pay a tax to our country that is receiving the good. It is not coming from Japan. It is coming from Japanese companies.
Right.
So here's an example. You are importing this. Let's just stick with Japan, just randomly, right? So they're importing a good that sells for $10. So when you go to buy this thing in the store, it is $10. It costs them $5 to make this and to ship it and get it into the store. It costs them, that's how much it costs them, $5. So they make $5 in profit every time you buy one of these. So a tariff, if you were to enact a tariff on this product, that is to say that it is a completely free trade good. Now we're going to enact a tariff to see what that does. We're going to call it a 10% tariff. It will make the importing company, so they will now only make $4 off that $10 product. They were originally making $5 because 1%. Now they're paying to the country receiving it, so they're only making $4. So either they eat that dollar loss, or they pass it on to the consumer. Yep. So now that product that costs $10 costs $11 to the consumer, but it still makes the importing company $5. Now, that's not a perfect system, because if you play this out, it is going to with just basic economics, it's going to lower demand by increasing the price. So fewer people are going to buy it so you may make money on it, you may not. But remember, you're still making the same $5 you were before. If even like 100 people fewer buy that product, then you've lost money because of the tariff. So now we're on the same page. Everyone understands tariffs. I thought we should just do that.
Yep.
So here is what's happening since Trump has come out and levied tariffs on like most countries except for Russia.
All of our allies, apparently.
Yeah. And some of these, remember that tariff, that example I was giving you was an example with a 10% tariff. Some of these tariffs are as high as 70%.
Yeah.
So it's not a matter of let's raise the cost. It's a matter of we cannot sell this good in the United States anymore.
Right.
The ESA, the Entertainment Software Associations, is a lobbying organization for the game industry. They're in pretty dire straits right now for a couple of reasons. One of the big things is that they don't have connections with the current Trump administration. They have been, they spent 4 years in the prior administration, and they spent 4 years during the Trump administration building relationships with people so they could reach out to people within the cabinet and say, hey, this is how this is directly impacting our industry. This is a big fucking deal. They don't even have a number to call because there has been so much overturn between Trump's first and now second administration. So they want to pull alarms and levers, and there's nothing to pull. There's nobody looking at those. Here's a quote from Aubrey Quinn, who's a spokesperson for the ESA. She said, "We really are at this point just watching and trying not to have knee-jerk reactions." Oh, that's nice. Because we don't think that what President Trump announced this week is the end of the story. But what was announced this week in the tariffs is outlined. We do expect these tariffs will have a real and detrimental impact on the industry and the hundreds of millions of Americans who love to play games. So the things that they're saying in, the ESA is listing is a number of concerns, including that the games can't get here, but this is also going to impact jobs. And after we've had a brutal 2 years in which hundreds of thousands of game developers have been laid off, now we're looking at even more layoffs as there is this depression in the industry. Because as as the Aubrey Quinn says, the entire consumer ecosystem is connected. That's just like a thing you may learn in the first chapter of a Econ 101 book.
Yep.
Just basic capitalism things when a global economy, just like how things work. So here's another quote that comes out of the ESA that I thought was kind of interesting. It's been interesting with media coverage around video games and tariffs because just unfortunate coincidental timing that the Switch 2 reveal was the same day as President Trump's announcement. There are so many devices we play video games on. There are other consoles, but as I was saying, VR headsets are smartphones, people who love PC games. If we think it's just the Switch, then we aren't taking it seriously. This is going to have an impact. So that brought up a really poignant point for me, is that just the fact that tons of people are hyped about the Switch 2 and they're following the announcement, and it is an immediate impact, and people are very stupid and they struggle to connect the dots. This connects the dots for them in a very real and tangible way, and more so gets them wondering about the other electronic things that they may like, need, or want in the near future that they won't be able to get at the price they had assumed.
All of them.
A kid. Like, I have kids that work in my store who are saving for certain things, whether it's a car or a new iPhone or something. They now, if they have any awareness of what's going on, are realizing like, wow, now I'm gonna have to save an extra $400 for no particular reason that benefits me. That's just what it is.
It doesn't benefit the United States either, is the thing. Like, this isn't benefiting anybody. It's just trying to flex on other countries
with like a basic misunderstanding of what tariffs are.
Right. Like, he's saying, "Oh, we got more money coming in because of this," and that's just not the case. The other impacts that I've been considering is anything with a graphics chip in it, anything with a GPU, which is everything.
Yeah, AI, dude. Think about how this impacts this AI boom we've been having when they're just like, there's an literally endless appetite for processing power right now. And we're gonna slap a 30% tariff,
and we're slapping tariff
on that shit
because they aren't made here.
Yeah,
we are getting them shipped in from Taiwan.
Well, there was the CHIPS Act that Biden passed to try to bring more onshore, more microchip development.
Biden, how dare you?
Yeah, exactly. So dude, they're going after that.
We're gonna have to mute that on this podcast. Or JD's gonna end in an Elvis Salvadorian prison. Can't say it.
I did get a little bit of a tan today, so I may be in trouble.
You're cooked, bro. You're done.
So the idea, I don't know. The idea that we are cutting off our microchip development domestically that we were just boosting, and this benefited tons of states and tons of local economies that were going to build fabrication labs for these chips, and the same time we're making the overseas ones exorbitantly expensive. I feel like AI is just gonna like sputter,
screeching halt. I think.
Yeah.
I think. Well, or you're gonna have companies, some of these big companies that are really big players in AI, Google, Microsoft, I don't know, everyone else. All the big companies are trying to do it. they are going to start petitioning. Everyone is going to start petitioning the U.S. government to be like, stop this. I know my company already has started like, okay, we got to put together our petitions because you put all these tariffs on and we don't get all of our goods to make a plane in the United States. Either we can't or it would just skyrocket the price. So, and nobody does that. Nobody does that. And so, yeah, this is.
So
But
let's
going
dig
back to the
into
gaming industry.
Yeah. So a specific example here is the Switch 2, which we've been talking about. One of the immediate impacts, because they have this Nintendo Direct when they're announcing what they would be normally announcing. Here's when the Switch is coming out. Here is when you can pre-order it. And they're like, the Switch is coming out. It's still coming out on June 5th, but pre-orders TBD. Because we cannot start processing pre-orders if we don't know what the device is going to cost. And if we have to import these to the US at a 50% tariff, this thing's going to cost $600.
Like, yeah,
so
the price is going to go up from what it already was.
Yeah, and pre-order and sell 1 million pre-orders at $450, and then we're eating $150. The tariff. We're not going to do that. So we aren't going to know. Who knows when we're going to find out? I mean, the tariffs are poised to go into effect on Wednesday. So we'll see.
Who this really affects the most? The scalpers. These poor scalpers can't set their bots up to like when the pre-orders are going to come out. How are they supposed to make a living?
And once if they're selling a $450 console, they're scalping it at $600. If they're selling a $600 console, they have to scalp that at $700. They are making diminishing returns because, I mean, there is a point where like you can't sell a scalped console.
Is it even worth it to scalp anymore? Like, this is so stupid.
I'm making razor thin margins on my scalps. So let's see. Nintendo announced the console would originally cost $450 and $500 in Mario Kart World, but we won't know. They were supposed to start on April 9th, but not going to happen. They're still planning to launch on June 5th, which is kind of funny because they may just launch on June 5th and we still don't know the price until you walk into Target that day.
It may not launch in the US on June 5th.
Yeah.
Like, that's a real possibility. It could launch internationally on June 5th, and then we get a later launch date. Like, that is a real possibility depending on how things are going.
Because that's those things where you have these fucking sitting in port because the company's like, well, I don't want to pay that. So we just bring them back here. And now I have to wonder, and it's funny you brought up scalping because if you remember, they had plans in place that we had reported on months ago to reduce scalping by increasing inventory in stores and to spread these things out so it wasn't as easy for scalpers to snatch up tons of consoles. How does this impact that? Like, does this really, I feel like this may actually jack up that gray market where it's like, yeah, scalpers there may be an unexpected boon for scalpers from all this, where the idiots or the jerks that are like poised to just snap up a ton of consoles when finally Nintendo's like, okay, we can hit sell on them. It's been a big mess. Most of them are sitting in port in San Francisco, but like, we're just going to do pre-orders now and nobody's prepared and the scalpers get every fucking console. Like, could happen.
I'm prepared for what I view as a very high possibility that one of two things happen. We either have to buy a Tesla for some reason to get a Nintendo Switch, or we can only order them from Tesla's website. Somehow,
whatever
Tesla
it
has
is,
access
Tesla
to all
gets
of them.
like 2 pennies for every Nintendo Switch sold.
They're going to be the primary scalper.
Yeah, that's just how
Tesla
it is.
buys them all. We have to buy them.
You have to buy a Tesla, and it comes with a Nintendo Switch 2 in the trunk or the frunk, whatever you feel like, whichever model you get. So here's this is the last tariff story that we have for this week. I'm sure there will be more these things actually hit. Like, we'll probably be reporting on this stupid bullshit for fucking months, if not years. Like, the impact this is going to have on the industry, because there's no takesy backsies on this, because the other countries have already responded with tariffs of their own. And it's not like we can be like, actually, everyone just unlaunched the missiles. We're good on war. JK. Everyone just agree to JK while the missiles are in the fucking air. It's not going to happen. They're in the air. So they're going to hit next week, and we're just going to be able to assess the damage from there. But it's a fucking mess. So this is the one that made me the saddest. This is a big report on Polygon about the tabletop industry, which, if you know anything about the tabletop industry and its huge resurgence in the past like 10 to 20 years, mostly on the back of crowdfunding, any of the people that know that how that has grown or how these things are made knows that they're all made overseas.
Yeah.
This whole thing has been made on the back of Asian factories in Asia that are manufacturing all of the chipboards, the dice, the specialty dice, the meeples, all of that. None of that shit is developed in the or developed, or even made,
produced
in the United States. It's all made overseas. And so, and that is to say that industry has been built over there. The factories that are built over there that have been built up and funded by gaming companies here, there's nothing here for that. So it's like we're now cutting.
You can't just be like, oh, why don't we just have our guys make it
pack
here?
Up and move.
We don't have guys here.
And even if
all our guys are over there,
even if we started tomorrow to start building factories in the United States, and tomorrow we find a ton of workers that are willing to work in those factories for $5 an hour, and we find tomorrow that these factories are able to quickly fulfill orders and get them into the hands of consumers or production companies, that's still years of development and years of building to get to where we're at now with the manufacturing that's overseas for these things. And so the Game Manufacturers Association, known as GAMA, that they said the latest imposition of a 54% tariff on products from China. Remember my 10% tariff example. This is a 54% tariff. Is dire news for the tabletop industry and the broader U.S. economy. As an industry highly dependent on producing goods overseas and importing them into the U.S., this policy will have devastating consequences. They go on to explain the tariffs will also decrease discretionary spending, which is a huge thing you might not consider. Is not only what I just described, is that the actual production and manufacturing of the games that we're playing is going to be drastically impacted. But on the other side of the ocean, the people that would buy these games now don't have fucking jobs, and they don't have the side cash, which I asked Jenna when I was reading this article. I turned to her on the couch and said, dude, I don't think since I left tech 2 years ago and I've been working in a fucking cookie shop, we haven't bought a single tabletop game, dude. Not by choice, not necessarily by design. It's just like we don't have the fucking cash to do it.
Right.
And so like that's an easy cut because that's a $60 box of cardboard that you play with like once or twice. It is the definition of discretionary spending.
Yeah, absolutely. 1,000%.
And so that goes. So what the GAMA statement read: this 1-2 punch is likely to put many of our members out of business or force them to downsize and lay off employees to survive. I mean, this is basic fucking math. What's going to happen here in the next? I mean, it's happening now. It's already happening.
We're going to stick it to China. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to shoot ourselves in the face. This is like. No, I'm not getting into that. That's a terrible fucking example.
And Patrick says in the comments, and actually I wanted to read this because this is exactly where my thought was going. So he says, "No, I know a lot of current tabletop Kickstarters have put in their descriptions that they will be putting the tariff charges on the back end to keep the Kickstarter campaigns going. So if you have a current, like these games that have a current campaign going, well, they can't, as we've been saying, just start eating costs.
Yeah,
they either have to cancel the Kickstarter or increase the costs on at the back end so they can keep it going. So
that's to the point that I was making earlier about our lack of capacity here in the United States. Here is a statement from Steve Jackson Games CEO Meredith Placco. Some people ask, why not manufacture in the U.S.? I wish we could, but the infrastructure to support full-scale board game production, specialty dice making, die cutting, custom plastic and wood components, it does not meaningfully exist here yet. I've gotten quotes. I've talked to factories. Even when the willingness is there, the equipment, labor, and timelines simply aren't.
Mm-hmm.
And here's my favorite part. Not really. It's all my favorite. It's so terrible. How can it not all be my favorite? Is that they cannot, you may think, well, hey, it's not just China. I see all sorts of labels that say made in Vietnam, made in South Korea. Well, guess what? Those tariffs are hitting there too. It doesn't matter. There is nowhere unless we want Russia, again, tariff free, to be manufacturing all of our board games. We're up shit creek. Like, that's it. And this is, again, not something that just like we can just start back up. It's not just a car that like, oh, well, it died on me. Like, we'll just start manufacturing again. We'll start this thing getting back going. No, just like with all these layoffs that we've had over the last couple of years, these people will scatter to the winds. Board game, tabletop developers, for example, one of our very own here on this podcast, Aaron, previously worked in tabletop games. He did it for years in the supply chain management side of things. And he was laid off, and now he's in supply chain management and more traditional industries. He's out. He's not going back. He knows not to go back because this is what happens when you go in it. So you're losing experience and talent. And the amount that we're going to lose here is going to be without precedent.
Yeah, I think everybody in any sort of manufacturing is crap in their pants right now. I think this is a horrible time for them. But this industry, and this might sound dumb. You're like, who cares about the tabletop industry? This is a big deal for like a bunch of people, though. Like, this is a hobby that will be.
And it's been growing
harder. Yeah. As we've seen, like, our convention out here is huge. It's so popular. People love it. This is going to be. It's killing this industry. It's going to kill several industries. It's going to kill several companies. Also, we can, I don't know.
There doesn't seem to be like a stated goal here.
No.
Suffering.
I don't have a clip for this.
It's play a news.
This one.
Bethesda's QA team is threatening to strike if negotiations continue. Oof. Here we go, dude. Microsoft is reaping what they sowed.
So Microsoft, when they purchased Bethesda, there was already the QA union was already forming. They were like in their infancy. And Microsoft, you remember, they said, any unions, we will honor their agreements, we'll be fully supportive, like whatever. Well, that's what they said. That's not necessarily been the case, because they have been in negotiations for years now. It's been a couple years where they've been doing negotiations, which I would say is not good faith. And I think they're doing it because this is not a powerful union, right? This is the QA testers at Bethesda. So it's not like 5,000 people are going to go on strike, right? But they're now saying they're going to go on strike. One thing that Microsoft has been doing is just been like, whatever, like these guys don't want to do it. We'll just go outside and get some outside QA testing, which is a big no-no when you're unionized. You can't do that. So they have filed a lawsuit against Microsoft because that's not one Microsoft would win. You can't just, if they say they're not going to work, you can't just be like, okay, we're just going to go have someone else do it for you. That's not how it works. So
give us time.
But
so in Utah,
with the massive video game union coming into fruition here, I think this maybe would give them a little bit more power. But they've always jerked around QA, which is so dumb, right? Yeah, I feel like they're the
only guys they're preventing your game from sucking.
Yeah, like I saw the demands too, and they weren't asking for anything crazy. They weren't asking for like I can't even think of anything nuts. They were literally just asking for basic benefits as far as I could tell.
Bare minimum seem basic. That's a lot of the words that I'm seeing here.
Yeah, and I'm like, just give it to them. Like,
there are 300 QAs that are part of this, and 94% of them voted in favor of authorizing a strike. And let's see. Here's some funny quotes. Not funny. This is from Aubrey Litchfield, who's a tester on Indiana Jones. Mm-hmm. We've had to continuously fight for what should be bare minimum.
Mm-hmm.
And here's another one from senior QA tester Zachary Armstrong. Underpayment and costly return to office initiatives have caused many of us to put our lives on pause because our income does not match even the rising cost of livings in the cities where ZeniMax insists we live and work to maintain employment. None of us wishes it had come to this, but if Microsoft and ZeniMax continue to demonstrate at the bargaining table that they're unwilling to pay us fair wages for the value our labor provides to our games, we'll be showing them just how valuable our labor is. So basically, they voted to authorize a strike the second that they want. If they go to the negotiation table and Microsoft tells them to pound sand, they're going to be like, okay, well, we're going to strike. Right as Indiana Jones is on the way, and Elder Scrolls 6 is still a couple years out, but you probably don't want this level of interruption at this stage.
This will set everything back.
Yeah.
It'll set it all back.
But, you got to stick it to the workers. You got to make them remember.
They need to come into the office, okay?
They need to fear me. I don't squeeze my fat ass into this suit just so I can sit behind my desk and not have anyone to yell at. Hey, get in here.
I will say this is the return to office has been funny because like COVID happened and they're like everyone were virtual. And then we were seeing no decline in performance when people were working virtual. And then like COVID kind of died and people were like, okay, you got to come back to the office. And then there's been I'd say like a big push in the last 2 years. Everybody back in 100%. And I have exclusively seen these pushed by men of a certain age, I would say. These are guys who are 50, 55, 60 years old. They're like, get everyone back in the office. What do they think they're doing at home? They're just screwing around.
Look, I destroyed my home life for work, and I expect you to do the same.
Do the same thing.
I have nothing to be at home for.
I don't have a relationship with my children.
Me. I'm a middle manager. Do you think I'm likable?
Yeah.
I'm just here. This is all I got. You guys get in here and justify my existence.
The fact that they would put that's like something that's a big deal on the table. If they go on strike because of return to office, there's no budging on return to office. Give me a break. That would be ridiculous. So honestly, I kind of hope they do go on strike for their sake. I want the company. I want their games to come out and be amazing, but also if they put a hurt on them a little bit, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, the Nintendo Direct just dropped last week. It would have been basically all of the news if we had a normal president. We don't. We elected a reality TV show star, which is fucking cool of us. And kind of fitting.
Good. Feels good.
Kind of fits. Yeah. It's the guy we deserve.
That's what I was just about to say.
Look at America. Turn the fucking mirror on our country. Like, yeah, we kind of deserve him. We kind of had this coming.
Despite our best efforts, this is what we deserve.
And no, this is not our best effort. This is kind of our most nihilistic boomer effort. Anyway, the Nintendo Direct was actually okay-ish. Actually, no. What would you rank this? Actually, as I go through all this, I'm like, I give the Nintendo Direct like a C for how good it made me feel. I mean, it was a bunch of Nintendo-related news, but I'm not sure it was like, I'm so hyped.
It was like stuff that we wanted. It was stuff we wanted to see. We wanted. It
was 2 seconds of the Hollow Knight sequel, so that was nice for 2 seconds.
So there was a lot of stuff in there. I think for content, I would give it a higher grade, maybe an A-. But I think a lot of it fell. I would say, I don't know. I fell a little bit flat. Although this is like you said. This is the news this week. Like we went through and it was like everything was like Nintendo Direct. So let's just kind of start getting into it.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, let's take the first thing. I just got this list.
There's like no order on this.
Yeah. So we're just gonna kind of bang through it. Nintendo Switch 2 games will cost $80 for digital games. Okay, and $90 for physical games. So they just went for it. They just straight up said, fuck it. We're going for it. We were talking in the early days of this podcast about how long it's taking them to go from $60 to $70. And we had, I don't know, 4 years at $70. And it felt like it was pandemic related or inflationary. But now Nintendo's like, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to take a big chunk. We're going to do $80. No, we're going to do $90.
Oh, you want the physical copy? 90.
Yeah. You want to actually own something? Yeah, it's $90. Also, I saw this interesting breakdown on Eurogamer that the Switch 2's battery life is worse than the original Switch. The original Switch got anywhere between 2.5 and 6.5 hours.
It was usually, I would say it was closer to like 2.5.
Yeah. And the new one, well, you're going to be sad. The new one is like a Game Gear. 2 to 6.5 hours is what you get out of that. Now, as a comparison, the newer Switch, if you get a Switch, just a basic one, not the fancy one, but if you go buy a Switch, a standard Nintendo Switch today in Target, you'll get anywhere between 4.5 and 9 hours.
Yeah.
And if you buy an OLED Switch, it's the exact same, 4.5 to 9 hours. If you get the Nintendo Switch Lite, the one that doesn't have the little slidey, it's basically a Game Boy, that one is 3 to 7 hours. So the Nintendo Switch 2 will be the worst battery life of any Nintendo Switch to date.
It's interesting.
It kind of sucks, and I feel like with battery technology trending the way it is, it will definitely, the next time when they release an updated version of this, it will of course have a better battery life. But the idea of using this as a replacement for your Switch, if you do use it in a way that drains battery, it'll be noticeable, especially if you have a new one that lasts upwards of 9 hours, like you're playing an indie game or something. And then all of a sudden you're only getting 6 hours. That's gonna bite.
That will suck. That will suck. Like when if you're getting like 4 or 5 hours out of it, and then all of a sudden you get like 2.5 again. Yep. Part of me, the skeptical side of me is like, yeah, well, of course, because they need something to upgrade in 2 years, right? When the new one comes out in 2 years, they need. We heard you.
They had to cut costs somewhere, so they put the original Switch battery in these suckers.
Yeah,
and they have them left over in a warehouse.
Rechargeable AA's in the back of it.
So they just threw those in there. They got to cut costs to pay for the tariffs. They'll also be selling a cheaper $330 Switch 2 in Japan that is region locked. So these nut jobs can't go buy 500 of them in Japan and scalp them elsewhere. So
part of me is like, I want one of those just for like collect. If I was a collector, I'd be like, I need a $330 region locked Japanese Switch.
Yeah, there would be some
like I'd need
cash come with that.
Yeah,
nerd cred to having the illegal Switch 2.
You travel to Japan and you're like, I have 2 Switches because
and they invite you into like the back room
used in Japan.
Yeah, they're like, oh, of course, come with us. We also didn't get a clear answer on if they fixed the drift on the new Nintendo Joy-Cons. Yeah, here's the answer when they asked, hey, how's the drift going on the new Joy-Cons? As you may have witnessed and felt, the new Joy-Con 2 controllers for the Nintendo Switch 2 have been really designed from the ground up from scratch. And they have been designed to have bigger movement and smoother movement.
That's not what we asked.
That's not a fucking answer.
Not what we asked at all.
That's not a fucking answer at all. What does that mean? What does that mean? To play us out? To play us out?
Yeah.
So I guess that's what we're gonna get is probably more drifting Joy-Cons. Because if they had fixed it, they would just say no. But they know.
Like, we've tested it extensively. These Joy-Cons have X amount less drift. You know what I mean? Like,
and they had to know they were going to get that question. So the fact that they didn't even have a prepared answer tells me that they're going to be a little drifty. You're going to be returning your consoles.
Going to get that drift again.
All right, we've got a couple games. I just plucked out 2, but there were more. Like I said, there was Silk Song, the sequel to Hollow Knight, will be coming out apparently this year on the Switch. There's also From Software's next game will be a Switch 2 exclusive. That is From Software of Elden Scroll fame.
Elden Ring,
sorry. It will be called The Dusk Bloods, and it's cool exactly what it sounds like fucking vampires. Like, the Dusk Bloods.
I think I just wanted to put this in there because I think this is huge because the Elden Ring community is rabid. Like, they love Elden Ring, all the Elden Ring stuff, like they're into it. So the fact that From Software's next game is going to be a Switch 2 exclusive, That'll sell some consoles.
Yeah. And then another game that I plucked out was Donkey Kong Bonanza. It looks like a 3D, maybe open world. Is it not open world? Does it just seem like it's levels? Donkey Kong?
It seemed open world.
Your mic just cut out. Can you hear me still?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are. Yeah.
It seems like it's open. It's either open world or like
kind of seemed like Zelda,
like loose open world where it's like you're on a level that like is big, but there's not like unlimited. Like you have to go to a, you know what I mean?
I don't know, dude. It looks like a destructible like things like you can punch through into the ground. It feels like I don't know. You saw all the destructible stuff, right?
Yeah.
You can just punch down into the ground and then like tunnel through it. I don't know. This looks interesting to me. I'm definitely interested in it. I don't know if there's a release date on. Let's see if there's a release date at the end of this trailer. The 17th of July. So this will be coming very soon.
And P.S. I love its name, Bonanza, and it's spelled like banana with this, not like bonanza. It's spelled like banana.
And will this just be on the Switch 2? Because I'm seeing it seems like it'll just be on Switch 2.
You mean if it's one of the ones that will be on the regular Switch 2?
Yeah, will this be on regular Switch?
I can't say the regular Switch 2
as well.
Yeah. Let me look.
I guess it'll just be on the. I just think it'll be on the Switch too. I don't think it'll be. That sucks because I would buy this on the Switch honestly, the way it looks. But I would understand how it might need a little bit more powerful hardware to run. Also, Mario Kart World. Did you watch this trailer?
Mm-hmm.
I saw nothing new in it. Was there anything that made you think like, oh, this is a different take on Mario Kart?
Yeah. Wait, did you not? It's like Forza Horizon Mario Kart.
Oh, is that the idea here? I was just seeing the races and
So they're showing the races. It's like an open world.
Oh, I did not understand that it was open world. That is cool.
So that's like it's like a Forza Horizon Mario Kart. So that's
okay. Actually, I'm way in for that. Yeah, I'm way in for that.
Interesting to me because
that's a cool take. Because the races look cool, the maps look dope. You're like grinding on telephone wires and doing crazy shit. But
Nintendo's smart, so I have to believe that you can just like jump in races like regular Mario Kart. Because like when you're playing with a group and you've got 4 people. You don't want to be like, hey, let me drive around and go find a race to do. Instead, like you can just select a race because they have to have elements of that. So
yeah, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I guess that those will both only be available on the Switch too, which makes sense. Yeah. Let's see. Also, physical Switch 2 edition games are just Switch 1 carts with codes in the box. Which means they're basically you're just buying a digital cart. You're just buying a digital game, and the cart is a verification method, if anything. So the cover of the Nintendo Switch edition of a game reads, includes the Nintendo Switch game and the Nintendo Switch 2 edition upgrade pack. So that's what you're paying $90. That's what the extra $10 is for, the bogus Nintendo Switch 1 cart. And those will also cost $80. So if you buy a Nintendo Switch 2 version of a Switch game like Zelda or Kirby, like the Zelda games that are like remastered for Switch 2 or whatever,
so the price
will cost you $80. Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
So yeah.
And your Switch 1 cartridges will not work in the Switch 2?
No. They will. Yeah. What?
So the Switch 1 cartridge will work in the Switch 2.
Yeah, but you won't be able to play. You won't be playing the upgraded version. I don't think.
Got it. Okay.
And then this whole direct. This is kind of a funny little piece at the end here.
Yeah.
The entire time that they were doing this whole hour-long Nintendo Direct, the 70,000 people that were watching it live were just demanding nonstop, like the entire time, just spamming the chat to drop the price. And it applied to like everything because every single thing that Nintendo announced was like, I would say like a significant chunk of your rent, but now people's rent is like $2,000 a month. So it's like, they're like, come on, you can afford $80-$90 for a game for your $600 console. Come on, you're paying $5,000 for rent.
Drop the price.
drop the price.
That's
so yeah, it'll be again. This is the effect of these tariffs will be depressing demand for this really popular console just by forcing Nintendo to raise the price because they have to account for these tariffs that they're not going to just eat. It's going to be a fun year, you guys. We got 4 more of these.
I'm sorry to inform you. Welcome to another company reset. Hope you've updated your resume. 'Cause you've just been laid off.
It's just one thing here in the layoff section. Eidos Montreal has laid off 75 people. This is the studio behind Marvel's Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, the latest game, and the upcoming Fable game coming next year. They posted on LinkedIn, "Today we informed our studio staff that we are going to let go up to 75 valuable members, as one of our mandates is coming to an end. It is not a reflection of their dedication or skills, but unfortunately we don't have the capacity to entirely relocate them to other ongoing projects and services. They're very talented, highly experienced experts and are going to enter the employment market, and we are working to support them through this transition, blah, 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 blah." This one read to me, correct me if I'm wrong, you would know better. This one read to me as born of necessity and not like most of the other layoffs that we did.
This
seems like a project stopped, or they got a bunch of games canceled and they just legit didn't have place for these guys to work.
Yep. And that's the type of layoffs that I usually am engaged in, and it has a very similar tone when we're talking about them.
What I got from,
this project's canceled, like, and that happens, our contract is canceled or whatever. It's over. Like, we don't have a place for this person anymore.
There was no bullshit about like we're tightening things up and we're reconfiguring the office. It's like, nah, these guys this sounded like a Hollywood thing, like the movie production wrapped.
Yeah, like
the movie studio can't pay these people anymore. We're not working on that movie.
Yep.
So this one sucks. 75 people is not small, and Montreal has been eating a lot of layoffs this year. Their game industry. I'd hate to be a Montreal game dev because you would be competing with a lot of people for
everybody,
not a lot of jobs.
Yep.
All right, now for some news stories that don't have so much meat on the bone.
Just some little chunky guys.
But hey, these ones are kind of a little bit more fun. Ubisoft accidentally censored some nudity in Far Cry 4, but they quickly fixed it. This was to cut what?
I was gonna say, it was funny how it was discovered too. Just some rando playing it was like, hey, this is supposed to be the part where I can see her boobs
of the game. This is Far Cry 4, which features topless NPC at some point, and some pioneering Redditor who was replaying his favorite scene of the game noticed that she was wearing a bra.
And he was like, why am I even playing this game right now?
Yeah, the top comment on this post with like 300 upvotes was just, why? These guys were just like beside themselves. Why would Ubisoft do this to us? What did we do wrong? We committed some great sin that we now need to be punished? Why? And then someone adds, I just went back to the Shauna Arena mission. AJ is no longer naked. They gave him a loincloth to cover his genitals. Dude, everyone's getting fucked here. No tits, no dicks. Why do I even play Far Cry 4 anymore?
Pointless game. Honestly, delete it. I'm okay with you guys deleting this game now because there was only one reason.
They'll take the time to hide boobs, but not give us a fucking 60 frame per second patch on next-gen consoles. Cool. Oh I hope you burn in hell, Ubisoft.
I feel like the effort
burn in hell.
The effort required
at the end
for those two things is not the same.
To
be like, to just cover up nudity in 2 scenes, or give them a 60 frame per second on next gen console update. That is not the same level of effort.
10 years? What? Did their nipple license expire? The comments on this post are unhinged. I am officially nominating this for a Blurst Gamer Rage
That's a
Blursty.
great one.
Fantastic. It was very quickly fixed because Ubisoft realized that they had uploaded a animation package or whatever the fuck that was designed for Japanese markets, in which this is censored and the nudity is covered. But they pushed that to everybody, so they went ahead and fixed it, and everyone got their dicks and nipples back. So,
with the glass ceiling broken, all the oppressed groups shall prosper, especially the most oppressed group of all, gamers.
I think you read my mind. I was going to ask you to play that clip, but I figured you didn't have it on the board, so I didn't want to make a fuss.
It's on the board.
This is why we work together. Elon Musk's daughter has claimed that he is terrible at Overwatch. This is his estranged daughter, Vivian Wilson. This is the worst episode we've ever done on the podcast. I have to talk about Donald Trump and Elon Musk in the same fucking segment.
You can't talk about one without the other.
Dude, just put me in a Cybertruck and just explode it. So she was talking
Where's
about
Luigi when we need him?
Yeah, for real. Talking about her dad was a bronze ranked Torbjorn main who was relying on his 12-year-old children to carry him. Peterson, just play it. It's better to hear it from her.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
What about the gaming stuff?
Oh, okay. Are we gonna get into it? Are we gonna get into it?
Because initially this whole thing started because like he came after me. He was saying I was fraudulent for doing a sponsor for a Ubisoft game.
I can't expose something that I think is really funny, which is the fact that when I was like 12, he was bronze in Overwatch, and me and my twin weren't. And he would try to constantly get us to play ranked with him, and I'm like 90% sure it was just because we could carry him. And I was like a 12-year-old Hanzo main who was like barely in silver. He was a bronze Torbjorn main. He was dog awful, like god awful. So no, I don't believe I am a pro Path of Exile, whatever no, you are not. This is so cringe. Why would you even pretend to be it's fine not to be a gamer.
That's my question. Why even lie about it?
I love that this guy's life sounds like a living hell. Like you are the richest person on the planet and you are like living in a complete hell of your own making. Like going back and watching
for
that
no
clip
reason, like
of him in San Francisco when he goes on that Dave Chappelle show and he just gets booed out of the building and he looks like he's gonna fucking cry. And you're like, dude, what an unlikable loser to have 50,000 people who are there to see Dave Chappelle, who Dave Chappelle has spent the last hour warming up. And the second your feet hit the stage, they start booing so fucking hard, like your current day John Cena. And I'm like, that guy's a loser, right? That guy fucking sucks. And then the whole internet eats him up every day for lunch. So much so that he buys this website so he can punish the people that are being mean to him on this website. Huge fucking loser, right? And yet, somehow, the fact that this guy can't get is trying to, because she said he would try to get us to play with him all the time. He can't get his 12-year-old kids to play fucking Overwatch with him. It's just like, it goes so deep. Like Peterson, you have like kids in this age range.
Right.
If you were like, dude, you guys want to play some Overwatch? They would be like, yeah, right.
Like if they were asking me, they're like, dude, you want to play Overwatch? I'd be like, all right, yeah, let's go.
Fine.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't be like have to beg your own fucking children.
No, if I asked them if they wanted to play with me, they'd be stoked.
They'd be like, fuck yeah, right? But you have to beg your kids, and it's not because you want to bond with your kids. It is because you are such a dickless, hapless loser that you care about your rank in a video game. And like she said, she was at silver, so they're not going to carry him up to platinum. They're not MSG, or MLG. They're not like way good at gaming. He just wanted to be better, slightly better than bronze. I think the fact that this guy is like running our country right now is troubling to say the least.
The most. And look, all the people who bootlick for him, because I know a bunch of them, they cannot understand how big of a loser you're actually like describing.
Yeah.
They just say, oh, he's rich, so he is someone to be idolized and
Yes.
genuinely, like I've seen that. Like
Those two are not mutually exclusive.
No,
you can be a rich loser. You can be the richest person and arguably one of the most powerful people on the planet right now, and still be a huge fucking loser.
He sucks, and so
He
it's
sucks. Like no one likes you, and you're a loser. And your
No.
own daughter, like, fucking doesn't even want it. Just
Your
goes and talks
kids?
shit about you.
You are a
on a
billionaire, and your
podcast.
kids can't even be bothered. They hate you so much.
Oh, what a
Yeah.
dumbass. All right. Ubisoft stock fell double digits just days after this
Ooh.
Tencent deal, which was kind of designed to juice their stock price. The fall fully erased the 11% gain the company saw right after they made the announcement. They're like, hey, the Tencent's going to buy like 25% of the subsidiary. We're going to make up just for them to buy it. And everyone's like, yeah, okay. And nope, it's all gone now.
I even saw a story that said Tencent was even confused about what they were purchasing because like it was
It's a weird
confusing
fucking
for
deal.
investors. It was confusing for the buyer. Like everybody, like people who own the stock were like, what even is this?
But
So, their
it was
stock
not
dropped.
confusing for the Guillemos. They were like, somehow
Like,
we
what
just got
don't you
richer.
understand?
I
Yeah,
don't know
we just
how.
please give us your money. What do you? I don't understand why that's hard.
All right, this last thing seems like nonsense.
It-
Are we reporting
look,
on April
I've seen
Fool's
it-
jokes
I've
now?
seen it. No, I've seen it a lot.
It's not real though, right?
The Steam page exists.
Yes,
There's
but
a
the
Steam
game is like
store
a joke.
page. So 2 years ago, 2 April Fools ago, Pal World, Pocket Pair, the developers for Pal World, said, "Hey, there's going to be a Pal World dating sim," and everyone was like, "Ha ha ha ha!" And it was they just announced it like there was no Steam page. This year, they say it again. Steam page is up. It still is up. You can wish list this game if you want to. There's descriptions. There's descriptions of each of the characters, a Pal World dating sim, and it is, I would say, if there's a 75%, 80% chance this is still just like a gag that they're doing, but people are now turning and they believe that this game could actually exist, that they're actually working on this, because there was a lot of buzz when they announced it. People were like, dude, but I do want that though. And then they're like,
I do pause the game and look at my pals.
so there is a Steam page now for it. And you can wish list this game right now, JD. Go in and do it. You can wish list it.
I'm not gonna do it. Is it so it's real?
If it becomes real, are you gonna play it? That's the real question.
If I roll
This
sex,
is- The humans
roll a sex
and the
game-
pals can date.
yeah, I don't think I like that part. I think as someone that grew up on Pokemon, that part seems wrong.
That is,
I don't
are you
remember
kidding
wanting
me?
to fuck any Pokemon.
You weren't looking at Diglett and being like, "Oh, come on, though, for
What
real."
can
though.
he do? Where is he going? And can I follow him?
What's with the Dig Trio? How come there's 3 of you now? Like,
Do you want to
we
be
doing
you want
this?
it to be 4? Can it be 4?
a
I got a
plus
4.
one to
I
the
got a
party?
+1. This is
Yeah, I don't know.
disgusting.
I want it to be real because it is so bananas. And so part of me just wants it to be real. It seems like something that they would do.
That was like Patrick. That was like Generation 2. I don't know. Wait, Gardevoir? No, I may have if that hit me at the right time of my personal development. Maybe
He's flipping through the cards. He's 12 years old. He's flipping through the cards. And he picks that one back up and he's like,
wait a second.
we'll put
Coming
this one off
back
to the side.
Coming back
Yeah,
to
like-
Vaporeon here. Wait a sec.
Kudos. Kudos.
Kudos.
Kudos is the positivity segment we do to wash the negativity out of our system.
Yeah.
Like I recently learned runs do for me. I was so stressed all week, just felt like dog shit.
I thought you were
Yep.
talking about diarrhea when you said that.
Kind of kept coming home from work and just so tired, and I just would try to relax and take it easy, and I just
Just
ended
need a
up more
good
exhausted.
diarrhea sesh.
And I just sat on the toilet and I drank some X-Lax, and 2 hours later I felt better. No, I finally came home from work one day, and even though I was tired and feeling shitty, I just go for a run, see what happens. And dude, it like flushed all the stress out of my brain.
Why are you using poop words for this whole thing? You're like, I went on a run and it flushed everything. I'm like, what do you? Yeah. My mind's stuck on it now.
I'm
You
fucking
ruined
with
it.
you. I'm
Just
clearly fucking with you.
Stop it.
So this is our kudos segment. It's very similar to the runs that I go on.
See, nope, you did it again.
We like to flush all the negativity out of our minds. So
let's just wipe it clean and just start over. Okay.
Kudos is our positivity segment, and this week I have a kudos for Foodos for Sriracha Doritos. I know these were discussed recently in our Good Eats Discord, but I hadn't had a chance to get them until just a couple weeks ago. I am on my 4th bag now.
Oh, wow.
I cannot stop eating these. These are the most delicious Doritos I've had since I got those honey chili ones from South Korea.
Yeah,
way back when.
Those are so good too.
These
are so good.
Slap for me. They have the sriracha flavor. It comes through perfectly. I think they have just enough spice that I can eat a ton.
It's
and
not aggressive. They're not.
It's about the same level of spicy as the sweet chili.
Yeah, it's not like a flaming hot
or spicy nacho. Yeah,
anything like that. It's not.
Yep, it's not flaming hot. So if you're like, oh, sriracha's spicy, like no.
Yep,
like they're fantastic. It's called Golden Sriracha. I found them at Smith's, $4 for 10. I'm sorry, $10 for 4 bags. So it was $2.50 a bag. I was like, what is it? 2005, dude. I walked out of there just like clutching bags, like I was. I don't know. It was like Black Friday, man, for chips.
He's got a cart full of sriracha. Like,
just sriracha chips.
Happening with these chips, like,
and this is how we get back to me having diarrhea all week. So all I've been eating is Doritos. I don't know. I just thought they'd have more fiber.
I told JD, hey, you should put them on a sandwich. Instead, he just makes them into a sandwich. He's like, no, but if you crunch some of them and add a little bit of mayo, and then put it in a frying pan, becomes like a patty. You put it in between 2 Doritos. Dude,
yeah,
unstoppable.
It's the best sandwich I've ever had. So yeah, check those out. Get sriracha Doritos before they take away everything I love. So I'm sure they won't last long.
This
Peterson, what do you got?
Mine is kind of a kudos. It is a mixed dose. I don't know, a kudos and a poodos together. I went and saw the Minecraft movie, and I got to talk about it because it's a gaming movie, and this is a gaming podcast. Okay, so the movie is done really well for what it is. It is a Jared Hess movie. So if you don't know who that is, that's the guy who did the Napoleon Dynamite movie.
So like a ton of other shit.
He did, but that's like his flagship or whatever. So he did that. So I would say Hess shows up quite a bit in the Minecraft movie. They're in Idaho. There's tater tot jokes. Some of the cinematography was like, holy crap! There's like, this is Napoleon Dynamite. So he does kind of go back to his.
Some people don't want to be pigeonholed. Jared Hess is like, this pigeonhole is very comfortable. I like it here.
Can we do Idaho tater tots? Like,
we're just doing tater tot jokes. Get out of here. This is my pigeonhole.
Yeah. And then Jack Black surprisingly does a great job. He's just Jack Black. He's the most Jack Black that's ever Jack Blacked in this movie.
He's off the leash.
Every single line is like that, like Jack Black.
Like, remember you remember who you were in School of Rock? I want you to turn that up double that. He like will sing a line sometimes, just like because I think they just said like, just do what you want, just do whatever.
Here's the lines. Here's the general.
It's Jared Hess directing Jack Black, who he's done before in Nacho. Like they are like buddies.
Yeah.
Like you don't say
like,
no.
Do your thing.
You just like do your fucking thing, man.
But
let's
then
just see what this movie does.
But then we've got remind me of his name, Khal Drogo.
Jason Momoa. You cannot remember his name.
Genuinely,
we had this exact conversation last night.
When I went to go
22 hours ago.
When I was at the movie, I had something to say about Momoa. I had to go look up his name during the movie. I cannot remember his name. I don't know why. If you say Jason Momoa, I'm like, yeah, I know who that is. But it can't come on my own. Anyways, he was actually really good too, as like he was being very silly. He was like playing a very silly role, just like real goofy, not serious at all. He did a great job. I thought those two nailed it. They did all the Minecraft stuff in the movie. Like they did every single thing, paid homage to everything. They touched on every single thing you would want them to touch on. explained Minecraft stuff sometimes. So it was a good movie. I didn't love it. My kids, who are the target audience, I'm not the target audience for this movie. My kids were like, this is the best movie I've ever seen. And that's what they said. Like, genuinely, they loved it so much. So I'm giving it like a kudos for that.
Because you told me not to see it in theaters. The kiddos loved it. Anyone that played Minecraft is going to like it.
Yeah, if you don't love Minecraft, you're not going to be like into it, because the movie itself is like mediocre, I would say. It's like just stays on the same tone the whole time. There's not like that up and down, like, oh, here's a big emotional moment. There's not. It's just like tonally the same. So it felt kind of boring to me. But again, my kids loved it. This movie's going to make $1 billion. Kids are going nuts for it. So I'm giving kudos to the Minecraft movie for doing a good version of what I thought they should have done and what they set out to do. Did I love it? No, I didn't. But my kids freaking loved it. And
this is a very unique kudos, a very mature kudos for Peterson.
Thank you.
I don't think we've ever had a more mature kudos, a recognition of something's merit outside of our own appreciation for it.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
I appreciate it. So yeah, Minecraft movie. Take your kids to go see it.
Rundown.
Dude, I did get a sunburn, didn't I?
A little bit, yeah.
If I can recognize it, I know it's something.
It's not bad.
Colorblind.
It's not real bad, but yeah, you got a little bit.
A little bit of color. It was my niece's birthday today.
Oh,
and we were like at my sister's house, but everyone just like wandered in the backyard because it was so nice.
It was a nice day, 60 degrees, not windy. So great.
Just a nice day to be laying in the lawn, getting a sunburn. Mm-hmm. All right, the rundown is the segment where we talk about a game we are playing. Simply put, Peterson is playing SteamWorld Heist 2.
Okay.
I didn't know you were playing this.
Yeah.
This was like even on your radar.
So I picked it up. It was on sale or something. I had it wishlisted forever. Because if you remember, I played SteamWorld Heist 1. Loved it. As a reminder, it was the one where you play as like the SteamWorld robots. All the SteamWorld games are like you play as a robot. You played as robots. You played space pirate robots. So you were in space with a spaceship, and you're a pirate going around and like saving from the evil empire type of thing. It is a 2D game where it's a 2D cover-based, turn-based cover shooter. So you've got your guys lined up, and you have your turn. You get 2 actions, and you take your shot. You move, you take your shot, hide behind cover. Then when your turn's over, the bad guys take their turn, right? SteamWorld Heist 2 is, and I would say this is a positive, is exactly the same almost as SteamWorld Heist 1. And that's what I wanted, because I loved SteamWorld Heist 1. So I picked up SteamWorld Heist 2, started playing it, love it. It's great. And the one thing that's great about these games is it is easy to quick pick up and put down. It's very easy. The stakes are so low. If you lose a mission, you just do it again if you want to. Like, it's not a big deal. It's not like XCOM where you're like losing guys and bad things are happening.
Like a whole investment.
You lose, it's like, let's just do it again. Just try
more robots. Who cares?
You don't even need to, and like you can win by you get a 1, 2, or 3-star win, like a lot of games have. It's better if you get a 3-star win because there are things that unlock, but not that big of a deal. So in this game, you play as these same types of robots, same mechanics are all the same, but you are not space pirates. You are water pirates. You're on a planet, and the evil Navy, the evil Royal Navy is taking everything over, and they're taking all the fresh water because the robots run on steam. And so they need fresh water, so they're taking the whole freshwater supply. So you're going around and stopping everything. In the same vein, you collect a ragtag band of characters. The way that this is different, though, is the characters there's a whole bunch of them you can get. In the first one, it was like a set group of characters that you would get, and they had a set role. Like this was your bruiser, this was your sniper.
Yeah, is
this
that
guy
not
has
what this one's like? That's what this looked like.
No, so all these guys have one, but you just recruit these guys at a tavern, and like so there's a whole bunch of different ones, and all of them their class depends on the weapon you have equipped. So you have a guy who starts as a bruiser, you can give him a shotgun if you want, and then he's got a whole completely different skill tree based on that class.
Oh, that's cool.
So each character will have multiple skill trees going. And I mean, the games are very forgiving. So, like, if you switch skill trees, it's not like he's starting at level 1 as a sniper. If he wasn't a sniper before, he gets a certain amount of skill points that are transferable over to the other skills, just based off whatever weapon you want to give him. Which makes it interesting because you can like switch the guys up quite a bit. There was a lot more customization you could do for each character. But overall, same exact game. You just take turns shooting at each other, kind of aim, shoot. You hope you hit. Some of the guns, the bullets bounce. Some of them don't. Some of them do AoE. Some of them don't. You do your mission, then you get out. Do your mission, get out. So that's it. And there is an overworld aspect on this one where you have your boat that you're like sailing around.
Oh, that's cool.
As the boat, you can encounter other boats, and there's actually like naval combat, little fights you do in the overworld, and then yours is technically a submarine, so you can dive down. So there's just a lot of to do in this game, but it's not hard. It's not real difficult, and it's just a fun game. I love these turn-based shooters, these cover shooters. I
love all the angle shooting. I feel like that never gets old to me.
I've never come across one I didn't enjoy.
This looks exactly, by the way, the little overworld part looks exactly, I mean, down to the font. I feel like I'm looking at Beach Bash or Beach Boom Beach.
Oh,
remember Boom Beach? Does this not look
funny?
Exactly like Boom Beach to you?
Yeah, it does look like Boom Beach.
Oh my god,
it's pretty funny
to a T. But yeah, this is kind of fun. That's cool.
It's a great game. Honestly,
How much was this?
Let me go look. I don't even know. I
remember you talking about it when you played it on Next Fest.
So this is Steam World Heist 2 is $30, which I would say is steep. I mean, $30 for this is it's a little game. It's not like a big long game. Mm-hmm. You could get away with $30 and probably be okay with, like, if I spent $30, I'd probably get my time out of it and have a good time.
But it's a good thing to wait for a sale on.
But wait for a sale. I think I picked it up for like 10 or 15. So it does go on sale, and it goes on like a pretty decent sale. So yeah, I mean, pick it up if you like these games at all. Steam World, I would say it's another banger by them. They just release great games all the time, and this one is no different. That it's funny, the characters are fun, it doesn't take itself seriously at all. It's good. It's very, very good. So this is a buy, but also I would wait for a sale, which most of our games are wait for a sale, I think. Mm-hmm. Because they all go on sale, so it's like hard to say you like this. You don't have to play this right now. This is a game pick up on a sale, put it on your Steam Deck, and take it on vacation with you type of thing. It'd be a great airplane game. It plays super well on the Steam Deck. Very easy to use on the Steam Deck, so no issues there at all.
Which is fitting.
In fact, I play it with the controller on my computer. When I'm on my PC, I use a controller because it just plays really well with a controller. So
nice.
Steam World Heist 2, absolutely worth it. I love it.
Shit, yeah, I love that. Good find. All right, let's move on.
Dice of Destiny.
Dice of Destiny, this game we play at the end of every episode. It's got a 20-sided dice with 20 different game genres assigned to it. We roll it. We find a game in that genre. We pick it and play it. Peterson last week rolled a peaceful / relaxing game for $30.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you get?
Okay, so this I actually had a tough time finding one. There's not like there's a lot of games that fall into this, but there's a lot of ones that don't look very fun to me. Sometimes I can find a good one, but I had a tough time with this one. I was just really hoping that Schedule 1 would have this tag on it, but it didn't because it's not peaceful or relaxing. It is a drug dealing game. So
doesn't matter. We're still gonna play it.
Well, yeah, we're gonna play it. Maybe. Did you see that it is getting? Real quick aside, Schedule 1 is getting sued by another game that's almost identical, and they said they stole a bunch of their proprietary stuff, and so
no,
I know.
Well, I guess we'll just play the original one, whatever it was.
Okay, so I was like, what should I play? What should I play? And I came across, I was like, I should just play a board game because those are typically relaxing. And then I found one. I was like, duh, I already own this. I've been sitting on it forever, and I have wanted to do it, and it is the epitome of peaceful and relaxing. So I am finally going to buckle up and play Wingspan.
Hey, yeah, because Aaron's talked about that on this podcast before, right? Yep. Now they've got all sorts of different versions.
They've got all sorts of stuff on it. I have actually played the board game Wingspan with Aaron. That was the first time I played it. I think we did dabble in one of the first Next Fests. We both played a quick version of this game. Yeah. And so I was like, I want to play it. I picked it up on a Humble Bundle that had a ton of board games. And I've been wanting to play. I've been wanting to play it so bad. I've been like, I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do this. And finally I was like, I'm gonna play it. This is my peaceful, relaxing game. I'm gonna sit back, learn how to play Wingspan again, and then just play it. And so kind of excited.
Trying to figure out Wingspan.
Look, Patrick and me we're on the same page this episode. Sometimes me and Patrick's views conflict, but he said, you said board game. My first thought was Wingspan. We are vibing big time. So I appreciate you, Patrick.
Wingspan video game. Oh, that's what I saw. Wormspan. Have you seen that?
No.
Wormspan is the dragon version of Wingspan.
Oh, I think I did.
That's what I was thinking when you mentioned this, because I was like, I feel like I saw a Wingspan thing recently, and yeah, Wormspan looks fucking dope. I love that concept. I love when board games do that. You got a good thing. You just do like a reskin.
Yeah.
I'll buy the reskin because I want to play it. I want to see the dragons.
Wingspan is such a great game too. So
I've literally never heard a single bad thing about it. So yeah, I'm excited to see what your experience is.
I'm excited to kind of play it and play the video game. Maybe if I get confident, I will play an online game of it.
Yeah,
but I can't imagine I'll go in and just get murdered. Be like, what is happening?
After it's been out for 7 years, you'll be fucked.
I'm excited to jump in, and I might grab an expansion too because they're all on sale right now too, like for dirt cheap.
Fuck yeah.
So anyway, Wingspan, I'm gonna play it.
Height. All right. Well, that does it all for this episode. Thanks to everyone that hopped on. Patrick, Abby. It's always good having people on our YouTube, which you can subscribe to whenever you like, but you should do it right now. Just do it. Just pause the podcast.
Yeah,
okay, you're back. Thanks for subscribing to our YouTube. Come hang out with us on Sunday nights when we record. Monday nights, sometimes when we're feeling nasty. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, we have to feel real nasty to go on like a Saturday.
Oh, yeah. The Saturday nights are saucy. All right. Play us out. We've got the theme from Steam World Heist 2.
This is the vibe of it. Yeah.
You should have played this for your peaceful, relaxing. I dig this. All right. I'm JD logging off.
And this is Peterson going AFK.